May I join the co-chairman of the Nigeria Interreligious Council, Nirec, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Saad Abubakar III, CFR MNI, my very senior brother, to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the third quarterly meeting of the Council taking place here in Lagos, the Center of Excellence. We were told that Lagos is the 5th largest economy in Africa, and it is believed that one of the major reasons Lagos is wealthy is that it is open to people of all ethnic groups and religions who have lived together peacefully in this city all these years. From my observation, everyone is welcome here. Many people who lived in Lagos and had compelling reasons to relocate would always want to return to this city. I spent part of my growing up years in Surulere, in the compound that had a mix of Christians and Muslims. In those years, on a Christmas day, they would come over to our apartment, the Muslims would come over to our apartments to have lunch to celebrate the birthday of our Lord Jesus Christ. And on the day of Eid al-Fitr, the Muslims who were co-tenants in the same compound would bring a plate of ram meat as part of the celebration to mark the sacrifice made by our father Ibrahim. And I believe that the situation is much the same even now. I pray that the atmosphere of inclusivity will be sustained. Okoh, I am happy to be part of this event, and I express my gratitude to God for the opportunity to serve in Nirec for 15 years, and now as the new co-chairman. Let me thank immensely His Excellency Mr. Babajide Olushola Adurakbemi Sanwo-Olu, that's a new one, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, for hosting this third quarterly meeting of Nirec and availing us the rich hospitality of the Okoh people, for being present here and for taking all the troubles to be here this morning. Your Excellency, you have shown that you value the position of religious leaders in promoting a peaceful society. We are grateful. I commend you for the giant strides you have recorded since your assumption of office as the Governor of Lagos State. We shall continue to remember you in our prayers so that the good Lord will continue to strengthen your hands and give you the humility to serve diligently and touch more lives in our time. I wish to also appreciate the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Barrister Boss Gida Mustafa, who is ably represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Dr. Maurice Mberi, for the commitment to peaceful coexistence in Nigeria by making available all the resources to sustain the meetings of this council since he assumed office. The way he has encouraged personal relationship with the leadership of the council makes our work much easier. He always was available, and posterity will remember his good works. I pray that God will give Nigeria more people like him in governance. Very significant for me is the theme that has been chosen for this meeting: working together for justice and peace. In this nation of multifaceted conflicts and increasing polarization due to our diverse religious and political persuasions, it is expedient that we work together for justice and peace and give hope to our fellow citizens in these trying times. As we go through the challenges of insecurity, rising costs of living, industrial action by university lecturers, brain drain, corruption, climate change, environmental degradation, political and economic uncertainties, we must hold hands together as a people, united in grief, but with the resolve to find lasting solutions to our common challenges. Reflecting on working together for peace and justice, I believe that there can be no peace without justice. Justice can be found when we are sensitive to the genuine concerns of others, regardless of their social status, ethnicity, sex, age, or religion. Justice and peace will be achieved when we see God in others and relate with them as creation of God. Justice will be achieved when we shall do unto others what we would want them to do unto us, as our Lord teaches in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, in the Holy Scriptures. There is justice where we raise the confidence of the powerless and the minorities by giving them equal opportunity to make their humble contributions to nation building. True justice will be found where justice is not understood and practiced as what Aristotle referred to as, and I quote, justice in the interest of the stronger, end of quote. Justice will be found where the realities of our diversities will be recognized and balance is struck in allocation of resources, projects, and leadership positions at all levels. There shall be fairness and justice when we all together rise with love to admonish and influence those in political authority to redress acts of denial and rejection. There shall be justice and peace when we as religious leaders will be genuinely committed to shun and collectively condemn hate speech that creates imaginary enemies just for selfish gains. We must realize that the time is up for those who feed fat on recruiting unsuspecting citizens to perpetrate violence in the name of God. It was John Cardinal Onayeko in the paper he titled "Let God Be God," which he presented at the 75th anniversary of Christ Holy Church International, my denomination, last April. He warned people who try to create the false impression that there is more than one God to stop killing in the name of God. God is one God, and there are no multiple gods. Religious persecution is real and rampant in our climate. And one of the yardsticks that will be used to measure the success of this council will be our ability to build bridges of peace and inculcate a sense of brotherliness, and I dare say sisterliness, in the psyche of the adherents of the different religions in this country. It is important to remind us that we were first born as humans before we chose our different religions. Our various religions equip us to find meaning in our common humanity. And therefore, anything that diminishes our humanity is anti-faith. It has been repeated in many occasions that we are creations of one God who is kind, merciful, and benevolent to all mankind. Since the above statement is valid in both the holy books of Christianity and Islam, why then is it difficult for some to work together for justice and peace? The Holy Bible teaches in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 15, and I quote, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers." End of quote. One may ask, therefore, so who is afraid of justice? Why are there so many crises arising from religious discrimination and social justice in our time? There are several manifestations of social justice in our nation today. Tribal sentiments, economic deprivation, corruption, and class distinction are some of the root causes of injustice. It has now become a norm to see people from the religious prison first before we engage with them as fellow humans. I will therefore appeal to each and every one of us in this room and beyond to try as much as possible to ensure that religious sects, groups, or individuals that hold extreme or fundamentalist views are persuaded to speak the language of love and peace in their daily communications, including sermons in the holy places and worship places. Let us continue to admonish our members to pursue peace with all men and be accountable first to God and then to their faith leaders. Leadership plays crucial and substantial roles in the life of the followers. It would be helpful for us all to be sincere in our engagement with others in dialogue. We must give leadership in word and in deed. What we say in private conversations matter as much as what we say in public. As we prepare for another significant milestone in our country, which is the 2023 general elections, it is important that we remember to guard our actions and utterances. As leaders in all sectors, we must not be seen as people who fan the embers of disunity, encourage political violence, or attempt to divide the populace along tribal or religious lines. As part of the interventionist efforts of Nirec to maintain peace on all sides and at all times, 60 youth representing both religions are gathered in Lagos already, and they're in this particular room for their Nirec Youth Conference. It is my hope that the outcome of the conference will include strategies for curbing youth restiveness and the dangers of pre- and post-election violence. Unfortunately, the politicians that arm and use our youth as political thugs have their children schooling in the best universities in Europe, Canada, and the United States of America. The youth must now listen to wise counsel and resist any attempt to be used to foment trouble during the 2023 polls. We have come to a point, dear brethren, in our national history where we need to take a critical look at our past and determine for ourselves the type of society we want to live in and the type of society that we shall bequeath to the next generation. We must resolve to elevate merit, competence, experience, character, willpower, and personal integrity above every other primordial sentiment as we go to the polls next year. We must elect only those with the requisite capacity to rescue us from all socio-economic woes into the various positions of political authority. The year 2023 presents a good and valid opportunity for us to rewrite the story of this nation once again, and I pray that we shall not fail in it. To conclude, Your Excellency, eminent leaders, Nirec remains a veritable platform where eminent religious leaders talk frankly to one another and listen to each other in order to encourage peaceful coexistence in our dear country. We shall continue to work assiduously to create public space that is safe for the promotion of justice and peace in Nigeria. However, religious leaders cannot do it alone. So let all of us in this room work together to build trust by fighting injustice so that we shall enjoy lasting peace that will ensure a better Nigeria. I thank you for your kind attention.